I've had a pretty good and productive week hobby-wise, so I thought it would be good to give you a peek behind the curtain and just see what I got up to. My wife and child went away to a caravan for a week, and I am not for 1 minute suggesting that my productivity is directly linked to them being in the house. I've painted a ton of stuff this week, and I've also done a bit of experimentation, which was outside my comfort zone. I got a few new purchases, and I've also been trying to learn as much as I can. I've done some stuff with a 3D printing application that I'll show you later, but that was pretty cool. About a half an hour before I started filming this video, the Redgrass Games V2 wet palette arrived through my door, and I've not really had a chance to use it, so I'm just going to open it up and show you what's in there. I haven't had a chance to use the new membranes or have a look at that or anything like that, so don't expect a review here. This is just showing you what I got through the door. So here it is. I went for the Studio V2, which is the big one, and if you don't believe me, there's the one I had before, which is a normal sized one. I did prefer the red lid on the smaller one, but had to go with the bigger one. I've just been running out of space so quickly these days. It's probably just my painting style where I spread paint over the whole thing, but something needed to change, so I got the bigger one, and I hope that will serve me well. I've already noticed a problem with it. On the top here, there's a rubber gasket around it, and that actually makes it really tough to open. Look, I'll try to open it. See if you've already got water and paint in it. It might fly everywhere if you jar it suddenly. So that's something to watch out for. So there's a ton of space. I got 2 sponges with it for the bottom of it. And I got 2 packs of palette paper. And this is the reusable stuff. So you can wipe it clean like 5 or 6 times, they say, and then reuse it. So we'll wait and see how that goes. I've already had a wee peek at this, and it's quite slippery, if you see what I mean. So it's shiny, and on the back it's got the watermark, everlasting wet palette watermark, which means you'll never put it on upside down, so I think it needs to be this surface up. Also got these clip-on things. On the old palette these were magnetic, and now they're just slide on. They don't feel as premium, if I'm being honest. They snap on fine. They do wobble about quite a lot. I wonder if with the magnetic ones there were problems with people picking up the pallets and them falling off, but I'm not too sure about that. It's a design change anyway, and it's not one that I'm overly fond of. Next up, we've got the new shades and some pots of contrast. I got the full shade set, and I got a few pots of select contrast colours, and I also got this mug. I don't know if that makes me the mug or what. I don't know if I paid over the odds, but the whole set was quite expensive. It says, "Not paint water." That's a nice enough mug. You don't know whether to drink from these ones or use them as water pots. I'll probably use this in the cupboard. I'm running out of mugs. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but my wife keeps smashing all my Warhammer and Star Wars mugs. I don't know if she's just embarrassed about it when she's got company over. This might be nitpicking a bit, but I was a bit disappointed that the contrast just came in a bag. So that's what you get for your £92. You get a big bag with all your order in it. I don't know, a nice wee box or something would have been good. I know it costs more money, but you know, you're spending £92 on this plus the mug. You might expect a wee bit more care and attention, but they'll all go in the cabinet anyway. They'll go in the paint rack, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I really wish I'd ordered the new black. That's the one thing I'm regretting from this. There's a ton of paints here. They're all very situational, but I'm very happy to have them because I'll be working on a whole load of different stuff over the coming months. So if I need a different colour of green shade, so here's Beal Tan and Poxwalker. Very different, I'm sure you can agree. And then just to add more variety, we've got Croak Green. So 3 different looking green shades. You could probably get away with using one of them. Beal Tan Green served me for quite a long time, but it's good to have a variety. I picked these contrasts because there was a bit of a gap in my selection. So we've got Striking Scorpion Green, that's a really nice vibrant green. Acerman Blue, I don't think I've got anything that looks like that, and interestingly, Tyron Blue looks almost exactly the same. Got Bal Red, that's the famous one that's doing the rounds, isn't it? Got 2 yellows. As you'll know if you saw my squat video, I hate painting yellow, so I'll probably try their helmets in one of these for any further squats that I paint over the next few weeks, and I do have a few. I got Magma Droth Flame. I thought that might be good for the squats as well, for their orange jackets. And I thought they hadn't sent me my Doomfire Magenta. And they had. I just thought it was another red. So I'm going to give it a good shake. It's beginning to look a bit more magenta-y. Let's open it up. Yeah, it does. Let's try sticking it on an orc and seeing what happens. Let's do a scaly bit. It does actually come out magenta rather than red, so that's good. Can you see that? It's quite a subtle difference, but it is there. I need to give these a good shake and see if they change colour. Right, so there's the orc. I don't think I'll be doing a review of these contrasts and shades. Just about everyone else on the internet's done it when they got theirs early, so I don't think mine would add much value. What I will be doing though is incorporating them into my painting, so if you keep watching my videos you'll see me use them probably loads of times. I'm really glad these colours are out. I know Games Workshop promised a complete revolution with painting. This isn't it, this is just new colours, but I'm really happy they exist. So what did I manage to paint? Well, I said before that I would try to paint up some vehicles for my squats, and that's exactly what I've done. I really like that I've got this container, and I can use that for my squat vehicles. That is really cool. It fits on the cargo ridge hauler really well. I've started painting this up. I added a few extra handles to this gun, so that it would fit into the squat's hands. He was a wee bit too short to reach up to the old handles, which sat there. I also did a quick conversion on this guy, just to get his hands in a better place for holding a gun. So I cut his gun off this one. This arm comes as it is. So that is all I did, and then he can just stand in there. I'm still doing a driver, so I'm going to have the steering wheel shaft coming from this side rather than from the middle, and he's just going to be standing there. So I think that'll work. I'm still working on the paint scheme. I'm not entirely happy with the balance of it. I think there might be a bit too much silver, not enough orange. Maybe I'll add some hazard stripes to it, but it's a work in progress. I'm happy with how it's coming along. I won't do a video on that because you've all seen me do the orange and the white scheme twice now, so I'm not going to do a third one. This ridge hauler actually totally surprised me with how intricate the kit was. There are hundreds of pieces down here. It took me a while to build. I built it wrong at first. I put these bits too far inside and it didn't let everything line up properly. So there is some error possible. I'm a pretty experienced builder and I mucked it up. So just be careful when you're building it. But it's really nice. It looks messy at the moment. These bits are going to be silver, that's why they're painted Black Templar. If you're painting over a white undercoat, Black Templar first and then silver over the top, and it covers a lot better. It's really nice. I think it will look really cool. It will even look really good as just scenery for normal Necromunda games, just sitting in the background. Something I have spent a ton of time on this week is my Necromunda tiles. So the main thing that took the time was blocking in all the silver. That took an absolute age. I used the airbrush and masking tape for these hazard stripes. I think it came out really nicely. I've since refined these stripes on a different towel, so I'm going to add those techniques to these stripes because they look a bit flat at the moment. I had some stuff called engine oil, so I was trying that out. Also, if you look up this end, you might see a bit of weathering. So I've added a bit of Troll Slayer orange, like really thin Troll Slayer orange. I'm not very clued up on weathering, so I've been trying my hardest to learn some new techniques. I don't want to take it too far. Sometimes you see Necromunda layouts which are just complete grime, like they've got a gritty texture on them. It's all just rust. I don't want that. I want a little bit of colour in mine, a little bit peeping through, so I hope I've got a balance here. I'm still going to work on it. I'd really like to know if you'd like a quick video on how I achieved these, because it was really simple and I think they actually look really good. So I've been airbrushing these. The silver trim is going to take me absolutely ages. It took me over an evening to achieve one tile. I was actually batch painting these tiles, so we've got this one, airbrushed. Still needs some stripes and some detail and weathering. This one, same. And this one was the one I tried my stripes on. Now, there's a bit of overspray on this one. You can see it there. I can fix that with a brush, absolutely no problem. But I'm really happy with how the hazard stripes came out. They're not flat. They seem to be a bit grimy. I think they look good. They're the best hazard stripes I've ever done, put it that way. So I'm happy with them. This tile does have a bit of a yellow tinge to it because I wasn't careful when I was spraying. I was too excited to spray over the masking tape. and there's a bit of a yellow tinge to it, so I'm going to have to sort that as well. I'll probably just come back in with the airbrush. If you're wondering what colours I used, I'm a bit sad about this because they are no longer available, I don't think. You maybe get them from a stockist that have still got some stock, but they're not being made anymore. So we've got Tire Black and Rubber from Secret Weapon Miniatures. The Tire Black's like a lovely black green, really, really nice. The rubber goes on, complements it really nicely, and we've got Rubber Highlight. On the first tile I used quite a light dry brush with the Rubber Highlight after I'd airbrushed on Tire Black and Rubber, so I think it came out really nicely. I'm excited for my Necromunda build. I'll just need to work out what colour these things are going to be. I was thinking maybe, this is the only one that's undercoated by the way, that I would do the white and orange again, but I don't know if that would just be too much. So I'm open to ideas if you've got any comments below. Cheers. I got some Batman the Animated Series miniatures, so I'm thinking about painting them. I did actually take the step of undercoating them, so I'm part of the way there. I like to just have them undercoated and sitting next to my desk so I can grab them whenever I want. I've got Penguin, he's cool, I like him. Commissioner Gordon, Bats, and we've got the Joker. I've obviously got hundreds and hundreds of these miniatures. You know these Kickstarters, they just absolutely flood you with too many miniatures, but I thought I would make a start on it anyway. I've also been working on a Space Wolves Rhino. As you can see, I've not been working that hard on it. I've gone for a more stormy grey look, so that's just Corvus Black sprayed over a Mechanicus standard grey undercoat. I really like the coverage it's got, I really like the colour it's got out, so I just need to bring it back up to more of a grey colour with probably Mechanicus and then Dawnstone and then Administratum Grey. You know me, I'm not fancy, I'm just looking for something that looks pretty good. So once I've worked out that paint scheme, then I can move on to my Spartan as well. Like I said, it's been a busy week. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to do another one of these. If you want to follow along, maybe think about subscribing if you haven't already. That'd be really good. Town Builder is a 3D program. It's on version 2 at the moment, so you can build your own buildings. You can export them to an STL and then you can 3D print them. So you can build elaborate settings. You can even print them out in chunks, so you can divide them up, and there's a thing called Open Lock which lets you stick the parts together, and basically the sky's the limit. It will cost a fair bit for plastic when you're printing this stuff out, but what I did here was a quick dwarf house, literally 2 minutes worth of work. So I used all the wizards in the software. As you can see, you just drag out a room, you add doors, you add windows, and then you can use the roof wizard to add a roof. So it's a couple of clicks, you've got a room that looks really good. What you can do is you can refine it, you can go in manually, you can remove walls, you can add doors, you could put in corridors, you could put in another story, you could put in staircases. It's really cool. I mean, it's the same as anything, it doesn't always work. The roof wizard is pretty janky. If the roof isn't the right amount of squares wide, then it doesn't really join up in the middle, so you need to do something about that. But other than that, really cool tool. I really wish there was a more sci-fi element to it. I chose the dwarf building because I thought maybe Leagues of Votan would be good, but I don't know if it would fit into that aesthetic. But if you're into AOS, then fire away. There's loads of different themes that you can use. There's steampunk, there's dwarf, there's castle, there's swamp, loads of stuff. I did print out that building that I just showed you, so here it is. As you can see, it's a wee bit rough. The same with any 3D building, it will need sanded to heck. This door didn't print properly, I could probably push that through. But the rest of it printed on top of the mess, so that was pretty cool. If you look at the doors as well, there's a wee gap round the side of them, so you could make them openable or closable. So there you go, there's a perfectly open door. The funny thing is, the one on the other side printed fine. I'm not an expert at finishing these 3D buildings. There's a lot of detail here that will need sanded, but if you sand it too much you'll lose the detail. If you want to sand every side of a rune, that would be a total pain in the bum. You'd normally dry brush a building like this, so if you try that straight off the bat, it'll pick up the layer lines and all it'll leave is like dry brushed lines. So you need to really fill it and finish it before you do anything with it. It is a hassle, but you get to design your own buildings and print them out, so I thought that was cool. I'll print the roof out and I'll probably do a full length video on this. I think it's interesting enough to warrant one, so I just thought I'd give you a wee glimpse of it. I hope you enjoyed the change of pace and a little look into what was a great hobby week for me. If you're looking for something else to watch, I'd recommend this one. Thanks very much. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.